We're live. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday night live from Hickorycroft Farm. There we go. Some enthusiasm.
Yay!
Was it Kermit the Frog? Yay!
Oh boy.
Oh, it's that kind of night.
Yeah. It's
That's how we should start all of our lives. Be like, it's time for another Tuesday night live.
I suppose you could do that because Saturday Night Live would potentially be a copyright.
Yeah, but Tuesday's not.
Tuesday night's okay. But
Oh,
oh well, hope everybody's doing good tonight.
survived to this point.
I survived another week,
seeing
as we gauge our weeks from Tuesday to Tuesday.
Pretty much. That's how it rolls. That's how we roll.
Yeah. It's I have to admit it's very warm tonight.
Well, it went well, not that it got warm super quick, but like how warm was it today?
Today was 28.
Yeah,
on the car. So it went from 10 to 28 awfully quick.
Yeah.
Then next week we're supposed to be cold again. Well, 20.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, 20 is not exactly cold.
No, I know.
Celsius, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, that's not exactly cold.
That's true.
By Canadian standards.
No, perfect optimal growing weather.
Yes.
And we didn't plant because everybody, it's last frost is next weekend, not this weekend. But
generally speaking.
Anyways, you've got it tilled. We're pretty much ready to go.
It's been dry though.
Oh, it's really dry.
But we have got a few, we still haven't got our raspberries finished yet.
Yeah. I know. I did look at them too, and there's buds, but they're behind. I think we're going to have to water them.
Yeah, the nice part of it is, I guess we can't talk about the raspberries too much because even though we filmed it, we haven't actually
posted it yet.
Video yet. So spoiler alert.
Yeah, raspberries are getting planted.
Raspberry spoiler. Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, but yeah, just thought we would see what everybody else is doing for their.
Considering we're coming up on the end of May.
Yeah.
I suppose when there's only 3 or 4 weeks in a month, months go by quick. Weeks go by quick. Weeks become months. Months become years.
Wow, who's sounding pessimistic?
No, I'm not pessimistic. But
no,
just tired tonight, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think it's catching up.
It's coming.
Trying to get a lot done.
Hello.
Hey, Jay. How you doing?
I think it's just coming to that time of year where everything starts happening really, really fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you've got I think it's the addition of the garden stuff because you've got, well, we've gotten through lambing, so that's awesome. And of course, we were late, but some ways it wasn't a bad thing.
Everybody's done.
But everybody's done. Everybody went well. We're in the process of all the chicks hatching out. We're up to
26 hatched so far.
From 3 hens.
Yeah. Actually, 20. Might be 28 now.
Hi, Going Green Mom. So between 26 and 28 chicks up to, and we still have 4 hens to go, and we had another one that just went broody, and we're pretty sure we're going to have another one after that. So the chickens are doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We should by this weekend. We think this weekend we'll have geese hatching, at least from the first pair. She kind of went through her go out and bathe and spend some time out before hatching, before getting down to business. So we'll see. We don't know the exact date, so it'll be kind of a watch this
Well,
space.
she kind of acted like she was, but then didn't act like she was. So we calculated based on when we thought she had for sure sat.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a little earlier, but anyways, hopefully that goes well and we get lots of little goslings. That'd be kind of nice.
And then, of course, there's always fencing to be done. And then you have the garden season, right? Because for us, there's some things that we can do ahead of time, and there's some things we can do later, and there's some things we can grow in the house. But the bulk of it kind of all happens at the same time.
And the greenhouse is just about full. We have so much stuff out in the greenhouse that's got to go into the ground because there's no more room to put stuff out there.
Oh, very shortly it will.
I know. And we still have more tomatoes to up pot, but we don't have room to put them out there.
Oh, we do. We're going to make room.
Hi, Jason and Danielle. Hope you guys are good.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice day today, and it's been pretty nice
Oh
all
yeah.
week on weekend really, which is pretty awesome.
Although I'm not sure that I'm ready for this like humidex heat that's coming, because it's like we didn't have any. It was just like bam, there's summer.
That's our weather anymore, though. It always just kind of snap your fingers and it's one season to the next. There's very little transition.
Yeah.
Although this year, really, actually, there was a fairly lengthy
I know.
transition, which is kind of nice.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, super windy. Oh, tornado warnings.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. You get crazy weather.
Yeah. You get all sorts. Yeah.
Because it was.
We can't complain about anything.
Because
really.
wasn't it you had the snowstorm and then the fires?
Yeah.
Like right the same time, I think it was.
Yeah. Hey, John.
How's it going?
Hope you're doing well. We were just thinking about you actually the other day.
Yeah. Well, we did the.
Wondering how the farm was coming.
When we were looking at the cauliflower.
Yes, our cauliflower did awesome. Canadian seed. Oh, you haven't posted that yet?
Or did I? I don't remember. I think I did.
I don't know.
Things are starting
from
to
the seeds that
together.
You gave us. The one that was you labeled the best collie ever. All of them came up, so we're super excited for that one.
Which is pretty awesome.
And the other one, so. But that's okay. So we got Cindy. lots of cauliflower coming, which is kind of exciting because
we don't normally grow it, so this will be a good experiment.
Yeah, somebody poo-poos it.
I don't poo-poo it. I just you've got to.
So it was nice of you to slip it in there, and now we're going to grow it.
It's well on its way.
What did we? Yeah, share craziness.
Yeah, I think you've had far more craziness than we have. We just get, lots of rain, lots of melt, lots of freezing rain, cold and hot.
For us,
we don't get all the crazy winds and stuff.
Well, and it's so dry.
This spring it is really dry. Yeah.
Pickle it, don't poo-poo it. Well, I'm going to try that because I imagine as long as it goes well and I can keep bugs out of it, we will have lots, which is awesome.
Amazing garlic spray is going to do that for us.
Yes.
We have to make some of that because we're starting to get some cabbage whites around the kale and the cabbage that are going to seed. They're starting to attract some, so we'll have to get that sprayed with some garlic emulsion or whatever you call it.
Yeah, well, the one that I just found had the mustard in it too, which is interesting since we have a lot of that wild mustard growing around, and we were kind of like, what can we do with that?
I'll have to research that a little bit more because I don't quite understand that, but still kind of neat. That was from that book. What book was the
Amazing Garden Tonics?
I think that's what it was.
Something, I'd have to go down and get it. I don't remember exactly what the title is, but
I guess you could pickle it, but I don't know what you would do with it.
Yeah, no. On a plus note, sorry, just because Jason and Danielle are in here, we actually think that our second Cooney might actually be pregnant and quite a bit further along than Ginger was, only because you've met our Coonies. So we're hoping for some piglets sooner than July, which we know Ginger's date because we witnessed the love.
You have video of it.
I have video of the love.
Everything.
Not that we're weird or anything. But anyways, so we know Ginger is the beginning of July, but we are starting to think that Pepper might be having her piglets earlier than that, which is kind of
looking like it
and acting like it.
A little bit.
So anyways, hopefully it's true because that'd be kind of exciting.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
That'll be another thing that'll happen sooner or later.
Why not just have so many babies and nowhere to put them?
We have places.
Watch this space because there is going to be panic at the Hickory Croft farm very shortly when we have to put stuff everywhere and don't have anything ready to go.
The big thing now will be getting the sheep trained to run down the channel, which we have to finish.
And we've never had this many babies before, and they all seem somewhat special.
Well, no, they just don't.
No, they just don't understand. They're not into the routine yet. Although saying that, they're coming into the nighttime pen relatively well, except for two stubborn boys.
Yeah, the
they
one lets
just
you go catch them. So
yeah, they don't want to come in. But yeah, the sheep need to start moving to the pastures, because the pastures, this now that the heat has come, they have just I mean, I swear they're growing a couple inches a day, which is great. But if they don't get on it soon, then they won't eat it because it'll get too long, because heaven forbid, they're so picky.
We found that out about the pigs recently.
Yeah, the pigs don't like long grass either. That was a learning curve.
Yeah, but
so I had to mow it after we'd left it long for them.
We're in the process of mowing it.
Now they're happy, so, and the chickens like the mowed stuff, so it's a win-win, I suppose.
Yeah, they like it. They love it mulched up.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's like a bunch of stuff that's going on with us.
Yes, and hopefully everybody got to see our new addition. That was supposed to be my Mother's Day present. We were supposed to go pick her up on Mother's Day, but we ended up a week later getting her. So,
all right.
But Daisy arrived on the farm. She's super cute, and we're super excited for her. And
well, you've already been like walking her with the halter a little bit.
Yeah. We bought a halter, and I took her for a trip around the yard. We walked down the driveway. So
start when she's little, and then she'll.
Well, that's the
hopes.
That's the hopes that by kind of getting her doing these things now, when it comes time to actually milking her and going to get her from the pasture and things like that, it will maybe be simpler. We still love the linebacks, and we're sticking with them too. And I know their babies will also.
Yeah, I was saying tonight about Danny, the bigger of the two linebacks. I'm not going to say she doesn't like me, but at night, if you're at all late as to when she thinks she's supposed to come in, she gets a little upset, and then she goes back out to graze. And then when you go, you have to go and get her.
Yeah, then she's like, "You were too late, so now I'm not coming."
And then they come. Anyway, it's just the way the pasture's set up right now. They have to come around the fence, and then they do the run, and she just tries to bulldoze you over. But I don't think it's malicious. But
no, but yes,
she's big. Let's put it that way.
Have to agree on the Jersey eyes, and boy, oh boy, that cow could probably weasel a lot. But that's, I think, the best feature. Their faces are just so cute.
They're cute when they're little.
They're cute when they're big too, with the
true.
big dark eyes and the dark nose. So
they have that look.
Yeah. So hopefully, we did get her from a dairy farm, so she was somewhat handled, I suppose, because of that. But she's quite funny because her first little walk down, I don't think she'd ever gone very far. And she was quite intrigued. Well, she did eat some kale. Yeah, she enjoyed kale. She didn't want grass, but she did like the kale out of the garden, because we walked through the garden just to check it out.
Probably shouldn't do that. It's like your chicken.
Well, it's kind of one of those challenges, getting her to walk through an obstacle course. See if she'll do it.
True.
But
true.
Anyways, it's just kind of a fun little pet project, literally.
Yeah.
But hopefully she will make a great milk cow later on. And, whether we end up keeping her long term, I don't know. But she probably will, because she'll be the one that's perfect, and we'll just never part with her. But
see what happens.
Yeah. So
long-term projects.
Very long-term, since she's only 4 weeks old.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah. But
for the moment, the big projects are, fencing and gardens. What did we do tonight? We planted our ginger.
Yes. Yeah. Video to come.
Yeah. We finally planted out our ginger. So that's kind of good.
So it's in the greenhouse now, where I think we're going to leave it there. It's a plan anyway.
I think it'll do quite well in there, actually.
We did really well with the ginger last year. And then
the greenhouse should just give it that little bit of an extra.
Well, it'll have some serious heat in the summer, and it'll just get an extra month or two, which I don't know. I thought we did pretty good, because what we planted last year basically doubled, and we didn't consume any of it. We saved it all to replant this year.
A tiny bit.
I guess there was some of the stuff that didn't keep super long, didn't keep to be planted. We did
some of the small stuff. Started down the fence rabbit hole. It certainly is. I honestly think for people, if you have livestock and you're starting this, like it's an understatement. That statement's always in there for any animal you read, like, oh, fencing's going to be this, fencing's going to be whatever. But like, I don't think people realize the amount of work, unless you have the, like, you know, if you have the equipment. There's some pretty fancy fencing equipment out there, but most people that are homesteading don't have said equipment. So,
well, we're hoping fencing for the cows goes a little bit easier, but so far we haven't made it to actually doing it. We have a lot of the materials.
Oh, we had a lot of materials last fall too. But
yeah.
Big thing now is getting the tractor to start.
Our lot in life is the tractor.
Tractors. Yeah, that's exactly like. Yeah. It's a huge project. In some ways, it never ends, but it's that initial setup is just massive. And
hey, Chrissy.
Also agree, if you don't have the equipment, it can be pretty expensive. Well, on some of it you actually can't do, or it's super labor intensive. It's like digging fence post holes.
Well, and the one thing we haven't even looked into this year is whether some of the things that we might need have gone up in price. We haven't priced up T-posts, things like that, which could be a real eye-opener when we go to, hey, Brampton Gardener.
Yeah, this is something.
That's what we kind of thought too. It's either that or we think it's the float on the gas.
Possibly one or the other. I am not super mechanically inclined, and the tractor's complicated.
Yeah, well, we went to start it. It didn't go. So we've got a call in anyway. Well, but yes,
we'll get it figured out.
I did say it's potentially the spark plugs, but we did notice that it's flooding, and so we kind of said, well,
which could be spark plugs too.
Yeah, but who knows? It's always the spark plug, she says. That's very possible.
It's one of those things. It's probably something simple, but the one thing I do find about, I'm going to say it this way. This is going to be my first rant of the live. But machines can be great. They can, and I say this all the time. When they work, they're amazing. But when they don't work, especially more the more complicated the machine, the worse it is. And tractor is about as complicated as you get. Some of the smaller stuff.
I was going to say, and it's an older tractor, so it's not nearly as complicated as newer ones.
No. But, anyways, when it works, it's fantastic. When it doesn't work, it's a couple ton piece of scrap metal sitting in the yard.
He really doesn't like it. We just said, let's just get the fencing done and then we can get rid of it. Because we don't use, other than for fencing, we don't use it.
We have had it on we know it's not a battery thing because the battery's on a trickle charger, which that actually works really great. Yeah. But, so we know it's not a battery problem, but
it is gas, not diesel. Yeah. Exactly. So
well, it's one of those things that came with the farm. Realistically,
why.
Well, we curse it at times, but at the same
it saved us last year though. We got so much stuff done,
even though we had to invest in it. So it's still, you couldn't buy one for the price we got it. Plus, even with the fixing, you still couldn't have bought one for the price we have it. No, so, and it has all the attachments. It's just.
Oh, and we know it's just something silly and little that probably a homesteader should be able to fix themselves, because that's important to know how to do. But we don't know how to do it, and we don't have the time to figure it out.
We're getting better, but it's you figure out one problem, get one problem fixed, and then there's another one.
Yeah, basically.
To put it blandly, but that's enough negativity about the tractor, because it does, when it runs, it works fantastic. Yes. We wouldn't have got, like, this is the thing, and I think we talked about this last time too. So we're going to sound repetitive, but when we go back and we stand and we look at what we've got done. Up to this point, from when we moved here, it's like we've done a lot. But then you have the other side of you that's going, but we still have a ton more to do. And when something doesn't work, it just yeah. So this past weekend was a switch of plans. We worked on garden related things instead of.
But gardens are equally as important right now too. But Animals need to get on the pasture.
Probably slightly more important, actually, because if we miss the window,
then you're late.
You're not getting it done. So,
and in the garden, we're way ahead of last year. Way ahead. We didn't have anything planted before second week of June, at least last year.
Yeah, that was a variety of reasons. But,
it was because we didn't have gardens. We were doing the gardens last year.
From scratch. So now we're just adding.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But as we say, the greenhouse is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways, I don't know what's everybody else got going on. I'm sure everybody's doing quite a bit of gardening. We've seen videos from some people where they've got
plants starts
and going in greenhouses and this, that, and whatever. But it's just that time of year. I think it's that time of year where if you're not doing it, you don't realize how much stuff is going on. But if you are doing it, you understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people this year are doing it. That's one of the things we
imagine that a garden to plant is an important part of the garden. Yes. Well, last year we had moved all of our raised beds and there was no in-ground garden. Well, there kind of was where we have our in-ground garden now. Was a garden
at one point, years ago, but it was so overgrown and full of, we salvaged some of it, but not a lot. That year,
but this year we've
doubled it at least this year.
And it's funny because it's like the spearmint, how much it spread to where we had cleaned up things. It was impressive in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
But
the mint is an absolute. I'm kind of thinking we maybe should not have transplanted it anywhere else. No. Did you see how much is growing in the garlic?
No, I haven't.
It's all little mints coming up, all in the garlic.
There we go. The nice part of it is we can just keep harvesting mint.
The mint is, and then James, I'd forgotten that in the spring when we were cleaning out the flower garden up by the house, James had pulled out a piece of mint. And I told him, well, go plant it under the willow. Then it was out of the way and it was fine. And I kind of thought, he's probably not going to plant it well and it probably will die and we'll be fine. Anyways, I went over by the willow and there's a huge mint plant growing underneath the willow now.
We'll have to do a follow-up to where we planted the mint down in the food forest because it was one of those things. We took it down in good shape.
It doubled in size in a week. It was just like, and I just thought, oh gosh, here goes our food forest. We're going to be mint everywhere.
There's worse things you could have. It could be poison ivy.
It's like what Chris says there. Mint is crazy invasive. And now the one thing that is nice about it is the rabbits absolutely love it. I could probably feed half of my rabbits for the whole summer on mint.
Mm-hmm. And they'd like it.
And they'd have beautiful breath.
The sheep eat it too, and the pigs eat it. So it's kind of one of those things.
It's becoming animal fodder.
But that's still a use, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not necessarily.
And I'm not nice about it. I mean, I yank it, right? Roots and everything come out, and that's what's fed.
It keeps coming back.
And it keeps coming back. So we cannot win on that one.
That is pretty awesome. So are you starting to garden like?
Is this an okay thing, or this is just you're going for it anyways?
On the yard.
But that's great to get a little bit more space when you're in town.
You have to redo them. Did they? Like you put them outside and they didn't do well. I'm guessing. Burn the mint. Well, the one thing is, like, we actually do like it for the harvesting point, but you end up it like quadruples in a month. Well,
the stuff for anybody that watched our mint video, in the video, the electric fence for the pigs is about 8 inches off the ground, and the mint was shorter than that. And now the mint is almost 2 feet tall there. Now that we took the electric fence down, it's gone crazy.
Yeah. So I guess that's the nice part, though, right? You can really knock it back, and it doesn't really matter. You don't have to feel bad about knocking it back.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Jerusalem artichoke because I actually planted some. I got it from my friend Miles.
He planted a lot.
I had a whole bucket full, and it was crazy because I left it in the bucket over winter because we couldn't agree where to put it for exactly that reason.
And he put it where I said to put it.
Well, yes, but that's besides the point. And we just got busy, whatever. But so we planted it, and when I went to take it out of the bucket, like it had grown roots into the bucket. It was like a rubber bucket.
It was a rubber horse water bucket, and the roots are right, like you couldn't get them out.
No, so we planted it. It's already starting to come up, which is awesome. But that just goes to show you how much of a
but we
weed
planted
kind
it
of
where
is.
we could mow around it so that it just kind of stays contained to where we want
if you
it.
want it bigger, you could. If
Yeah.
you wanted to dig it up and move it, you could. But you can prevent it from just spreading like crazy. But
drowning in weeds.
we've had that problem.
Hopefully, we've knocked some stuff back enough for the plants to get ahead this year. And we did do a good till. So our big problem here is the wild parsnip. It comes up in the garden, comes up everywhere, and it makes it really awkward.
Yeah, but it's dwindling.
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But there's the one thing I do like is the mulch. Like this, if you can get straw mulch, it does really help.
That's what we went with this year was straw mulch.
And we're hoping to get some more to do in between a lot of our other vegetables.
Yes.
I think it'll make a big difference. Yeah, I cleaning up a garden and reclaiming it is hard work.
Oh.
I almost want to say it's harder than just taking an area of grass and making that a garden. That you still have there's other issues, but that does sound like
yeah. Oh, it's just
a lot of work.
Yeah, and you're ending up having to do that work at a time when you feel you need to get it done. I think that's the part it never feels leisurely, like you can just kind of work on it. And, at least that's how we always feel. It's like, you got to go, you got to get it done.
That's just everything. That feeling. That's
that's good. Good news that they're on board and you're not just kind of, what is that called? Like squatter rights. You're like, I'm just going to creep.
That's good that you're getting help though. Cause I think that's our big thing. We usually do most of it somewhat together. So it's nice to have the help.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were saying that.
That was about the artichokes. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I have two different kinds. Don't know what their names are, but one is like a more normal, like a white skin variety, and one's actually a red skin variety. So I separated them just to let the red one propagate a little bit.
Yeah,
but I contained it too. So
it's in a pot or a bucket, one of our blue barrels. Well, that's probably going to be a much better use for that space, to be honest, than just kind of letting her go. So that'll be good. He'll be wanting baskets of produce in exchange.
Well, it's not a terrible exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely helps the focusing, because that's something we're not good at. We get
I do. I sit down and then just like I usually plunk down and detail work in a little specific area. It works better. It's like if I'm picking out the weeds out of the carrots or the whatever, it's like sit down, and that's where I like the raised beds, because you can sit beside them. That's nice. The tilled garden isn't as nice for that, but no, I need this year. I know it's terrible, but I'm going to break down. I'm going to need the knee pads. Last year I tried to do it without the knee pads, and oh gosh, or at least one of those foam board things that you can kneel down on. I'm going to have to get one of those. I'm sounding aged, but
that's all right.
It kills my knees kneeling in the dirt, and it's hard dirt once it's dry like this. It's hard.
Revenge by Jerusalem Artichoke. I never would have thought of that, but that's kind of funny, actually.
All grass weeds, though, not like the quackgrassy type stuff, is it? Oh, that stuff.
The what do they call it? Crabgrass or barnyard grass, the ones that spread by the
root, and you'd spend so much time pulling. When we were in school, I can remember the teachers had this. It was a competition, and it was so child labor, but it was pulling quackgrass out of the gardens, and they had a prize for who could get the longest root.
That's funny.
And I can remember spending hours with friends sitting in the garden pulling out quackgrass.
Hello, Vineyard Chicks. How are you guys tonight?
Hey, and hi, Chad.
How are you? The cat. You kind of don't notice.
She's up on the top shelf.
Yeah, they're always in the background, and the two blue ones just blend into the window at night.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny, actually.
Oh.
Actually, that's a good idea. A filler for cut flowers.
Well, and it would smell so lovely.
I like just eating the spearmint, to be honest.
Well,
I just eat the leaves.
Our daughter Alex wants to do some flower farming, so that's a great idea. We'll have to tell her, because she loves the mint. It's her thing. She loves it, and that would be a great little thing for putting in. And it looks amazing. Like, it's so beautiful. Like at our old place, we had mint, and it would get is it the rust or whatever on it? When it would get the brown edges. Is that rust?
The
Our lemon balm and the mint and stuff at the old place got
it might have been one.
But we don't have that here, which is wonderful. Cinnamon basil. Oh, wow. Didn't even know that existed. I'm searching for lemon basil. Somebody, I think it was in one of our lives, talked about lemon basil. And I keep going into any garden center and I'm searching for lemon thyme and lemon basil. I had lemon thyme at our old house. Loved it. It was so good in soups and things. I have not been able to find it again. And of course, it died when we moved here and tried to transplant it. And then, hey, Gigi. And then, yeah, someone else mentioned the lemon basil. And now you're saying there's cinnamon basil.
Things to...
There was a couple chocolate mint at the store today, but they didn't look great for the price. But everything I'm noticing is so, I mean, not that we go out to a lot of them because, you know, it's COVID, we're in lockdown, whatever. But I did go to the garden center at the food store today, and it was so picked over. There was nothing.
Well, everybody's growing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over yours for a second with the new chicks, but I'm gonna come back to it in one moment because I just wanted to put the foam pad. See, you don't have to worry.
There you are. Yeah.
But
I'm going to get some because I can't do it anymore. The kneeling and I should use it too for when I'm doing the sheep and stuff, because it's when you're clipping the bellies and stuff and you're down, it's a lot easier.
Nice to. As far as the peppers, the problem with peppers is if they have to be, I should know this off the top of my head. It's 800 meters, isn't it? I think.
No.
Yeah, I think
feet.
I think it was.
Give
me 1 second. We'll double
or
check.
Your book's up there.
Yeah. I should have this memorized. I don't.
The basic thing about the peppers is you can always save the seeds. It doesn't matter if they cross with something else, or even if it was a hybrid that you got from the grocery store, you just might not get the same pepper the next time. Basically, if you have some peppers that you've planted that you bought, like Samaranzos, for example, we have Samaranzos that we've planted that I definitely want to save seeds from next year. We're making sure that we've planted them. Or sorry, I'm on tomatoes, not peppers. Sorry, not Samaranzo. This Toli's Italian.
So it's 165 meters. So what's the conversion on that?
Yeah, that's 570 feet. That's what I thought it was.
But so we kind of went off on a tangent there, but you can also isolate them. So if you have a pepper that you like, you can either isolate them in a cage, or you can actually isolate the flowers so that the insects can't get at them. So you can still save seeds. You just have to isolate them before the flower opens and the insects can get at it, so that they won't cross with the other varieties, whether they're GMO or just something you don't want to cross. So you can still do it. But if you, I wouldn't say you shouldn't. Well, I guess if they're GMO, you might not want to do it because there is seed patents and stuff. Without getting into that too deep, if you're not sure about the grocery store ones, if you can't isolate or you can't get them far enough apart, which is pretty hard, you might not want to save. But if you can figure out a way to isolate them, whether it's an isolation cage or like bagging the flowers, then you can still do it. So you can do it. You just have to get a little creative on that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that helps. We haven't done the pepper video just yet. We plan to, we just haven't got back to it.
Yeah, but basically you can, at least for personal consumption, even if they are patented, you can do it for personal consumption.
Wow.
They're not going to come and flog you.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But are you going to? Yeah.
Glad you finally got here. That's awesome. How is your garden going? For anybody who doesn't know, Gigi is basically a neighbor for us. She's half an hour. Oh, we got quite a few neighbors because Walsh Hills is also a neighbor for us, about half an hour away, which is fantastic. Although moving a little bit further than that.
That's pretty cool though that you're revitalizing that after 35 years. That's impressive. And yeah, as soon as you mentioned the horseradish, it's pretty tenacious once it's there. And I see you mentioned down here that it's still there. I'm sure it would be. It kind of can go. It doesn't go dormant, but it can kind of hide in there and it's really hard to. It's another one of those ones. It's really hard to get it out if you ever wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You'll always have it. Oh, she has the
lemon basil too. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, and there's a lime basil. There's so many different. The herbs
they get so creative with it.
Yeah, the herbs are interesting.
But I am definitely interested in the lemon basil, lemon thyme, and I didn't know there was a cinnamon basil, but that would be kind of interesting. I'm not sure. Hey, Katie Lake. Not sure exactly what you would, for culinary reasons, what it would pair nicely with cinnamon basil, but
that'd be kind of cool to try it.
Yeah, make an interesting pesto.
I used to have some horseradish years ago. I don't know. I know I didn't keep it.
Well, we left the horseradish at the other place. We didn't dig it up.
Yeah, because we figured we would just replace it when we moved, or potentially find it here because we have found some other stuff. Like we found lemon balm, which is pretty cool because we didn't think there was any.
And it's so funny because it's a huge patch of lemon balm. How we missed it last year?
I don't think it was a big patch last year.
But it's weird because we didn't mow, we didn't anything,
and that's why.
I guess
like crazy. But
we didn't do anything to it, but it's just weird because it's not in a spot that we never go, and yet it's right beside our bird feeders. Like we walk by it.
Well, that's how I found it. But
so I don't know why we didn't see it last year, but we're really pleased that we have it. That's really good, and we're going to start transplanting some of that to the food forest area too.
We are east of Kingston.
Near going towards Gananoque. Mm-hmm. Or so, just past Gananoque.
In the grand scheme of things, not that far from you.
No.
In the grand scheme of you.
Well, in the wonderful internet world, we're still practically neighbors with you as well. I call that neighbors, anyways. I think anybody that you could actually like get in your car and go see them in a day is a neighbor in the internet world.
Oh yeah.
Black Llama Society, also a neighbor for us.
Just different directions.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the thing about Ontario. There is no real like central point because it's such a funny shaped province.
That's true. We're on the far side of it.
We're on the east side.
Yeah, like we're right kind of off the 401 St. Lawrence area. So we're really on the one east side. Mm-hmm. But that's okay.
Yeah, that's a nice area. We like it. Oh, strawberry. I've thought about trying the strawberry spinach. I've never grown it. I know it's completely different. It's not even a real spinach, but I do know it's supposed to do a lot better in the heat than normal spinach. Because that's the thing. We've grown spinach, but it never. I don't know. In the spring, it goes so quick from cool to warm that it always ends up
just bolts and then
Yeah, I think we'll do it more as a fall.
Well, we had actually because we had some. Sorry, I have a question. What is a lugaloo?
Is that like a? Oh, that's like a portable toilet, I think.
Oh, is it?
I'm guessing, but that makes sense because it would be.
Oh, it's just because I sit on a silly Canadian Tire bucket for shearing the sheep, and oh my gosh, does it ever hurt your butt?
Well, you just tip it upside down.
Yeah, just an upside down. Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's sitting on an upside down bucket, so that's why I was asking, what's a lugaloo?
I've actually seen the strawberry spinach because it's growing like as a weed places, but I've never ate it. It was on the long side of the road, so I didn't eat it. But
hey, Ugly Prepper and Thorhaven. Sorry, I'm on one computer here because we're behind in comments as always. Per
usual.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine there's GMO peppers. There's pretty much GMO everything. What I don't know is whether there actually would be available or not. Like a lot of peppers are named varieties, but I really have no idea.
Yeah.
That's so hard to keep track of. We just look for things that we know that is not patented or not GMO or what have you. But
we're terrible for not really growing anything from the grocery store because we already have our seeds.
With a few exceptions, like the ginger that we're growing.
That started 2 years ago from the grocery store.
Stuff, but
well, and the sweet potatoes we've gotten sweet potatoes from the grocery store and grown them before.
They didn't do fantastic. No, I'm glad that was helpful. It didn't really answer your question completely, but we are planning to do one on peppers because that's a pretty popular one. Well,
sorry, that's not good about the strawberry spinach. I'll have to look that one up because.
No, that's awesome about hardening off the tomatoes. We're kind of finding that our greenhouse seems to be working okay.
Well, with
for
the
that.
big windows either side and the door open, the breeze comes right through, which is quite nice. And they're getting used to hot temperatures. But I do think we'll still have to move them out of the greenhouse for a few days to.
But we moved out the carrots. We finally moved them out, so they're actually starting to get their flower stalks.
And all the kale's out,
because that means they're ahead of.
Oh, not all the kale actually.
No, the little kales aren't. But we moved a bunch of the kale out, and there's something else we moved out. Anyways, we moved a couple things out, and they really transitioned well, which is pretty awesome. Well, that would be kind of cool. We could. We'll touch base with you about that because that would be neat. We could send you something back. I'm sure we've got lots of seeds of lots of different things. So if there is something you're interested in, we can most certainly send something back.
Cut flower. That's kind of neat. One thing I always wanted to do was, what are the ones that came with our garlic when we bought it? The little dry. They grow and I know they're not edible, but they're so nice. They're like
buttons.
They're already dry. Like they're really crunchy.
It might be bachelor buttons. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know what they're called, but when we got our garlic, the lady made them all pretty with these little. They're kind of like quarter size, probably up to maybe loony size, and they're already hard when you pick them. Like they've already gone dry, so they make a really nice dry flower. I love dried flowers, so.
Oh, that's awesome that you're looking forward to trying it. We've got a few things from the Seed Challenge.
Yes.
Canadian Seed Challenge started.
Yeah,
we've got some other stuff.
The purple kohlrabi that we got from you is doing really awesome.
Yep, it's already out in the greenhouse. So.
Yeah, it'll be transplanted out into the garden shortly. And then the cauliflower that we got from Black Llama Society is doing fantastic. That's another thing I should also mention to Brampton Gardner. I want to remember what your name is, and I'm terrible. But
and I'm even worse with names.
I know, and we usually have a notebook so that we can write it all down. But anyways, we did a Canadian Seed Challenge last year, which was a big seed swap. So we are going to be organizing that again for this fall/winter as well. So
it's a little ways away, but
it's a ways away. But we're just letting because it's Canadian only. So no offense to the Americans, but it is. And Chris Dixon also participated in that as well. Hopefully, he's gotten a few of them going. Was it you, Chris, that said that No, it wasn't. It was Getting Clean on the Prairie said that her peppers didn't come up from us.
Okay,
which is peculiar because ours all came up with a vengeance. The totally sweet Italian, but
but that's what's kind of interesting.
Did I already say hi, ugly pepper? I'm sorry if I said it already. I can't remember. I'm terrible.
Yeah, I thought it was a bucket toilet.
Okay.
And then Chris has got a good idea too. You could take the bucket and glue some foam to the bottom of it. Which we could do. Our problem with the buckets
is we use them for watering and everything. And
yeah, so we have extra buckets because we do the
fermenting grains.
Yeah, so we've always got a couple extra ones, and then we always wander away with one, and then it's like, where's the bucket? So we grab it. So if we actually purposely made one, I don't know what would happen to it.
That one? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Friday off too, and hoping that we can get some fencing done.
Chris had Friday and Monday off or was it Thursday, Friday? Thursday, Friday off last weekend to get fencing done. And then, of course, we had the tractor incident. And anyways, we did do some other stuff and got things organized, but he's got an incident. 4-day weekend as well this weekend, and it better happen. It better happen. Yeah. Even if I have to dig those darn posts by hand.
We need to get the channel done. That's the important part.
Yeah.
And then we're good. Oh, cat. Well, good night, Johnny. Thank you for coming in. We definitely appreciate it. Hopefully all your stuff's doing well.
Yes, and hopefully this lockdown will lift soon and we'll get down to see the new place because we do want to. And we have to go your way anyways to get tags. So
that's also true.
Yes.
Sheep tags.
Sheep tags.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen anybody around here with horseradish. Or did you say they had it? No. Because that's something I would pick up one pot of because you give it a few years and you'll have a lot more.
Yeah.
It's not something you use a lot of because we always hem and haw about it. But then it's just that thing. It's almost like that quote unquote prepper mindset of once you have it, you've got it, whether you harvest it all the time.
Hey, Creekside Maples. How you doing?
We're sorry we didn't We didn't get into your live tonight.
Storehaven, I'm looking ahead. And he's like, guess what? You guys are behind. We are trying. After you picking on us the other night, we have to improve, but there's just so much good conversation, and we all do it. We all get behind in the chat, and then you're trying to not miss anybody, but
oh, perfect. Or yeah, no days off for a while. Yeah. We're in that same boat between actual work and all the other stuff.
Yes. So you do farm stays as well? That's all right. Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought that was Thorhaven saying that. I didn't realize that I did know that Katie Lake did. I thought it was Thorhaven said he did farm stays, and I'm like, how's that going?
That's cool. You got your tomatoes out. We're hopefully, possibly this weekend we could get the tomatoes out. They're hardier. The peppers I probably wouldn't risk here, but
the only thing I would say that we need, because it's supposed to cool off next week, but the only thing I'm concerned about with us putting them out is straw flowers. There we are.
There you go.
I think we're going to have some sort of kind of cover for them, or some sort of shade thing for a bit, because they're going to get scorched out there.
If we put the mulch around them, they won't be so bad. That's because true. The soil, once you water them, they don't lose the moisture. But to get a bit more straw, because we've pretty much used all of our straw up on the raspberry bed, which is a big raspberry bed. So that's not too bad.
I don't think it makes.
Oh, Chris said that they didn't come up either.
Okay, maybe it was him then that said that in the first place. I don't know.
Well, that's good to know that they didn't come up, because, like you say, it's kind of, well, I guess it happens, but we'll try sending some next year. It's too late now to get them going, but
Michelle, there we are.
Okay, and same so a couple of people had that problem with the Italian frying peppers.
Huh. They were, and yet we didn't have any issue with them.
They were the ones that, for us, they were the most prolific.
We had more. We ended up throwing some of them out. We did the germinating in the bag.
We had a lot.
Well, we're sorry about that, but I'm glad the Doe Hills worked for UGG, though. That's good. And I'm sure everybody got Scotia tomatoes, because you can't kill Scotia tomatoes.
They seem to come up. Hey, we caught up, and I can't remember if I said it or not. A little bit scatterbrained, but we had meant to come into your live tonight, but it just didn't happen by the time we.
We'd even set the reminder thing, and we just did not get back in from the outside chores.
We didn't get back into the house until it was 8:35 or 40 or something like
we came to check the thingy, because with our live being at 9, it's we've got to make sure, because it's light till past 9 now, and we get working out there, and then it's oh, I didn't bring my cell phone out. I don't know what the time is. It might be 9 o'clock. I don't know.
Time just goes by, and then it's dark, and then you rinse and repeat again.
But all in all, things are going well, and I hope they are going well with you guys too. I know I was watching your video there on clearing the brush, so hopefully that project got finished up for you and went well.
That's one of those things we'd like to do that too, but that's not going to happen in the near future. So
well, and the wood ticks are so bad. Oh, I'm dreading going to do fencing, because we've never seen wood ticks like they are here.
I would rather have the wood ticks.
I know than the deer ticks, but I've not seen wood ticks you just walk and you're covered. It makes me feel like I'm in Manitoba again. No offense, Katie Lake, but that was one of the things in Manitoba was the wood ticks. Oh gosh.
That's pretty awesome. You've got your potatoes in and your onions out and stuff. We've got to actually do our onions. We've got some onion sets that we purchased from the local feed store, some white onions, but we have our red onion
that we grew from seeds, that we saved the seed. So
we'll see how they do. They actually are doing pretty well. Although something that was interesting about them, the ones that we started in the grow room in the basement
did amazing.
Have done amazing. The ones that we put out in the greenhouse and kind of did
this winter sowing, where we did them in a container, everybody's raves about how the winter sowing does.
It just didn't work for us this time around.
Yeah, so we're gonna try again, but
still working on the
clearing. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it will be ready for them, and I'm sure they'll love it. This is where you're getting the horseradish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the, well, we definitely want to get some, but it's not a high priority list. But what cat just fell off the cat tree? But you should tell them what you found today.
I found something today.
Yeah, you brought something home with you.
What did I find? Oh,
Not an animal.
No, at the where I stopped to look for the herbs, I found 2 black elderberry bushes, which Chris has been trying to get black elderberry bushes and humming and hawing and humming and hawing. And there was 2 and they looked really, really good. So we purchased them to put in, which is more than enough because you've said that you can propagate from them. So
yeah, you can pull them.
And we think we may have found some at the back of the property as well, but we're not 100% sure
Not
yet.
I've got to see them through the year a bit,
these ones at least we know, and we're going to plant them up by the house so that we can keep an eye on them. But I think that's kind of exciting. I think you were probably pleased that I found those when I sent you a note saying, "Are these the ones you want?"
Yeah, so we'll see how they do. We're going to plant them up by the house and tend them more rather than put them in the food forest. But the eventual plan is to propagate
a lot of them into the food forest. The other thing that came was your second batch of pawpaw seeds.
Yes, I've got to plant those, which is kind of good.
And they came already stratified, so that's good.
Pretty awesome. So the last batch I got, they did pretty well. What do we have? Do we have 11 of them?
Out of you got 20 seeds, and I think there's 11, but one of them I think is questionable.
This winter, but
so probably 10, so about half.
I haven't looked at them lately to see how they're doing, but they look like they came through the winter okay. So,
yeah, the ticks, terrible.
Oh, that's cool about the potatoes. We always are terrible. We're going to plant a few potatoes early, but I always do plant after the first full moon in June.
Unless you're doing buckets.
Well, might do some in the buckets, but because it's supposed to help with the potato beetles. Basically, they don't get a foothold.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, how's it going tonight? Yeah, it's interesting that the tick.
It's got to be that the winter's not killing them off anymore. Well, that's what
I would imagine.
It's got to have something to do with it.
Like I say, I would rather have the wood or the brown dog ticks, or whatever you want to call them, than the deer ticks, because the brown dog ticks are just kind of annoying. They don't really carry anything, or at least not in our area. But
our cat's entertaining everybody again.
Yep, cat's having fun behind us.
You
can just ignore us and watch the cat.
She plays with her tail and stuff. Everybody had raved about doing the winter sowing with your onions, and I did a big
you did a big tray of
clear Rubbermaid thing with the lid, and I did all the hole drilling and put it out, and it looked really promising at first. Like they all kind of seemed like they were coming up, and then just nothing. I think I ended up with maybe 15 in it,
and they don't look as good as
and they look terrible compared to the ones that we did inside in the grow room. So
in the basement,
I mean, I must have 100 in the container that we started.
And they're actually starting to bulb up a bit, like just ever so slightly. But
they need to get planted because they're so close. They're growing into each other. But
elderberry's getting this year. It's a very hard one to find. What did I order? Was it 20? I originally had ordered 20 like little seedlings from a nursery, and that got canceled because they ran out of them.
Yeah.
And then I never really could find it again. So these are just 2, but at least it's a start.
Hey, Caitlin's Family Farm. But the elderberry was just kind of right place, right time, because we'd never seen them in there.
You don't see them very often,
but they had some interesting ones in there, but it was nothing that we needed. They had the same dwarf cherries that we have, the Romeos.
We need to replace some, but they were more expensive this year than last year.
Yeah, that was something that was pretty eye opener. That everything. A single plant, so a single fruit bush had gone up by $4.
Which in the grand scheme of things isn't much, but when you're trying to
but if you're trying to buy, like how many, we bought 15 cherry bushes last year.
Yeah.
When you're timing that by 4, you're $60, $70 more. It adds up pretty quick. So
yeah, potatoes are one of those things. We're hoping for a pretty good production on potatoes this year because last year,
a lot of
we saved a lot of stuff, which we're glad we did because we got some Yukon Golds that we haven't grown. We haven't grown. We've grown it in the past, but to add, but we couldn't really get a lot of the other ones that we wanted.
No,
so, mind you, we grow some weird ones, but they're fun too.
Because we'll have 8 varieties this year.
I think so
of potatoes.
We did see your the one video. I don't know if we actually watched it, but we did see it. Yours did look like they were doing pretty well, which is pretty awesome.
It must just be hit and miss. It could have also been my seeds, could have been the soil. I've never done it before, so maybe I had them too wet going out. I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't do great. But I'm going to try again. I mean, I already drilled holes in the bucket, so I'll try again next year.
Oh, yeah. We'll do something else with them. But,
okay, so she said her onions weren't great, but a lot of the others did great.
I bet you would work really good for some of the brassicas and stuff.
Yeah.
Too, like the kales and that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was thinking about is we wanted to start some asparagus seeds and rhubarb seeds and stuff like that. I bet you they work nice to start that way.
Mm-hmm. We should still start something now, but because we have the space to overwinter them now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, potatoes usually do pretty good for us too. We haven't. Well, we did some in the containers last year, more just because we didn't have the garden space completely prepped for it, and we've done it in the past with reasonable results. But last year it was quite a dry year, and they didn't. Well, they did okay, but they didn't do fantastic.
This year, what we're struggling with is the sweet potatoes.
Getting them to live to the point to go outside.
They're just like they made slips beautifully. They're just not transplanting well at all. They seem to hate the grow room. And
that's something we're noticing with the sweet potatoes. We've got some up here that get the light just from the windows.
Yeah.
And they're doing well. But we took a bunch downstairs to the grow room where we've got good light, and they're not doing well. It's very it's different. I'm sort of surprised, to be honest, given that once you get them outside, they love the bright full sun.
Yeah.
But
so hopefully, we said this is the make or break year for sweet potatoes. I know Chris will disagree, but for me, sweet potatoes are a lot of work, and if it doesn't work, then I'm out the door because I just plant more potatoes.
Well, I don't completely disagree, but I want to give it a fair chance.
Oh yeah, we're giving it a shot again.
Because the other thing is with the variety that we had ourselves,
we
started them really early because we found them sprouting in the back of the cupboard in like January.
Yeah.
So we've had to keep it going since then. So there is that part too, but I would imagine you'd be fine with
because the potatoes are down in.
They might eventually. The potatoes might eventually outcompete the brassicas, possibly.
But you might be taking the brassicas out before then.
It depends what they are. Potatoes if it's kale or even Brussels sprouts or something taller, I would think they'd be fine. I don't know too much. I mean, I've grown them near each other. I'm trying to remember if they're. I don't think they're a plant that you're not supposed to grow together. They're no relation, so. The only thing that might be different about it is the brassicas usually like to feed a little heavier. Like you can put more organics in, and potatoes don't always like that. But if there's kind of somewhere in the middle, I mean, and you can try it. It probably would work, to be honest with you. On a big scale, maybe not, but
do an experimental video. It's always a great excuse for a video. An experiment. How will my potatoes grow with our broccoli?
Yeah, we've kind of got the same thing. This is the first
year. We're hoping that they go out well because we have had them come up from seed before, but like you said, they never amounted to anything.
They never do much.
So this will be interesting to see. They do have a decent bulb on them, but it's still tiny compared to what you would buy as a, what do you call those? A set.
A set, yeah.
So hopefully they'll do something. If not, I'll have a lot of nice greens.
So as far as the potatoes, we actually have done both with potatoes.
We have 3 varieties that are purely store-bought potatoes. Our russets are all store-bought.
No, we did buy some from seed.
Oh, maybe, but most of them we've supplemented in the store-bought because it's a lot cheaper. And the blue, they're white in the middle with blue skin and white in the middle with red skin.
And that stays smaller.
They're those little kind of gourmet ones that you can buy. They usually come in a pack that's mixed with the little white ones, red ones, blue ones. Anyways, those ones, we ditched the white ones because they weren't that exciting, but we did keep the red and the blue ones, and we've been growing them for quite a few years now. Yeah. And we've not bought them again. We just keep using our own, but
it's working well. I know there is some different theories on continuing to clone them. Eventually, you're supposed to have to start over, but I don't know. So far, we've been doing okay with keeping it going.
You will have to make some pickled turnips.
Yes, we're looking forward. We've got to get our
fermented pickled turnips. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh, Kennebec, and I've never grown the Kennebec, but I really like the Yukon Gold.
Yeah,
that was something. That was one
we bought
did
10 pounds this year of seed potatoes because that's something we don't have any that we've saved yet. So that'll be the only thing out there that's purchased seed potatoes. Everything else is from. And I went down to look at we store them in the black totes. And anyways, what we had done was there's a black tote. A couple kinds are on the bottom, and then there's another black tote sitting in that with a couple more kinds to kind of keep. And then there's a lid on top of the black tote that sits in it. But all the are they legs?
Yeah, they've started to sprout.
They're up, coming out the sides of the totes up.
They want to go outside.
Yeah, so it's time. It's time to get them planted, and I do want to do a few in buckets to start early with a mixture for summer eating. But
this is my concern with the cauliflower because you've done it in the past and had good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
I've only tried cauliflower a couple of times in the past, and it never really turned out well. But knock on wood, it's going to work well this year.
Well, and the other thing I found, anytime that I have had cauliflower, it happened really, really fast. Like you'd think it wasn't doing anything, and if you missed it by 2 days, it was gone.
Well, broccoli does the same thing.
Yeah. So, but because you want to cover the leaves over the cauliflower, it's really something that we watch. I watch every day and wait for it to kind of just start to get that little head on it. But so hopefully we will have some good cauliflower this year.
But yes, I do agree, Brampton Gardener.
Oh, we love Guten Gardening.
Guten Gardening has some great videos on a bunch of different gardening related things, but his sweet potato videos
you'd think
awesome.
Since we've watched pretty much all his videos, we would have learned how to do sweet potatoes well, but it just does not.
I think you'll be surprised.
The one thing that we've learned though with them is we were doing them in containers, and I think we weren't giving them enough depth. Like we were doing them in 14-inch deep containers, and anything just to use Guten Gardening, but anything that he puts them in is at least 18 inches deep as far as a raised bed. So I have a feeling we were actually choking them a little bit, which is why we never got nice growth. Yeah. So we're going to actually plant them in the ground and in the deep containers.
Well, and maybe even the raised bed.
Yeah, we're going to take a leaf out of his book and just grow them in a whole bunch of different methods this year and see if something will work to allow us to keep going with it. But as it is, we've now grown them. This is our second year now of growing them and not eating them because we're saving them to make slips because we got so few. So we'll see how it goes. But
yeah, definitely. Like potatoes aren't too bad to grow from the grocery store. It's just big thing is whether or not they've been sprayed with a
and sometimes inhibitor. they take a lot longer, right? Like
it just
I don't think, but any of the ones like we've bought russets and those, and they're Canadian grown, and they don't seem to be sprayed with stuff because they sprout quite readily.
Yeah.
But
the corn, that's actually funny because we're kind of the same way. The corn, like it grows, you get a stalk, but it never seems to amount to very much.
Or you get little baby corns. Like what?
And we've
all the space. I mean, at least your cows would eat the stalks. That's the one thing for us. We're like, at least the animals
so many different kinds of corn, and because you can't really save corn seeds unless you live in complete isolation. That's a whole cross-contamination thing. But for us, it's kind of like if we happen to have some seeds, we might do it, but it's barely worth it.
Have a great night, Thorhaven and Creekside. Thank you very much for popping in. Much appreciated. Good to see you guys. As always, we're behind in the chat, but I'm watching on this one.
See, I thought the problem with potatoes, because I'll have to go back and look this up again, Chris, but I thought because potatoes are usually a good crop for a fresh garden. But I know if you've got, if it's too rich of a soil, they can develop scabs and stuff. So if you're too organic, I thought they didn't like it as much, but I could be wrong. They also probably feed on different things, I would imagine, but I'll have to look into that a bit more because I could be actually wrong. I don't actually know.
I don't know too many people that plant other things with their potatoes.
Usually just because the potatoes go crazy. But
I think the thing would be, though, if you're planting something that is ready early enough, I can't see that it would be an issue.
We always just plant the whole potato usually.
Hey, Wickershire and Conrad.
We could probably cut them up, but it's usually just a case. Usually by the time we plant, they're quite leggy, so we actually usually, if we plant them in the ground, we kind of are careful. We dig a trench and we actually lay the legs out, try not to break them.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it really helps, but I think you do get a little bit. You couldn't scale it up.
I think you might get less potatoes by not cutting them, but you get bigger potatoes. I think that's.
I'm not really sure what's best. We just have done that kind of out of habit.
Yeah.
Usually because, like we say, by the time we get around to planting them, because we tend to
they're very leggy.
They're quite leggy, and we kind of try to keep that. Just because then it's not putting.
The only way I would probably cut them at this point would be if you had really good legs going, what's it called, at a right angle from each other, and you couldn't lay them flat. Then I would probably cut it.
Yeah, but we usually don't have that too bad. No. But yeah, the pickled turnips are awesome.
Yes.
And fermented pickled turnips are even better.
I found one jar of fermented pickles down in our extra fridge.
I know Thorhaven's gone already, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Turnip, kohlrabi,
and then
some apple. That would be good.
Speaking of apples, our apple trees are all blossoming like crazy. It's absolutely amazing. It smells like crazy back there. And the bumblebees, there's not as many honeybees, but a lot of bumblebees.
We have a lot of bumblebees, but that's good. They're not all the native bumblebees, but because there's the ones that common European bumblebee, or I forget the exact name, but still. And we've got carpenter bees and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I think the kohlrabi is one of the things for me that I'm
most excited about. Yeah, we're trying it for the first time. Very excited.
Never thought of growing it, and then it was Guten Gardening that started it. But everybody we've ever talked to says it's a really good plant.
Yeah.
So. Pretty excited to try that, and we have some coming up, and we're going to do another round.
Yes,
possibly more.
What did we? I can't remember how many, but yeah, we just did one. We only did the purple one though. We didn't do the white one.
Yeah, just because if we did want to save seeds, we figured, well, we'll just grow the one and go from there. But
that's usually the case. If you have good corn, they get it.
Yep, pretty much.
If it's crappy corn, they won't come and steal it. If you get nice stuff, they're there. But.
Sorry, I think I might have missed something going green, Mom. What were you thinking of putting in the containers? Because if you've got a couple large ones, you could definitely grow a lot of stuff in them. Containers are good. I think it's always the only downside to containers is if you're trying to grow something that you need a lot of biomass to get a return on the gardening investment. Let's say it's like corn or potatoes are kind of a catch-22 because you can grow a lot, but like something that's going to give you a pretty good return on the investment as far as the amount you're going to get off of it, they work pretty well. If you need to have, I don't know, like watermelons or something, well, even they can go in because I'm tired of not making sense.
See, did you notice I just shut off completely?
You're just like, what? What's he talking about?
No idea. But
oh, that's cool.
That's
you had
very interesting. Come up. I was looking at that comment and I was thinking about, we just was it not Quebec Homestead had just done an experiment where she left some to see if they would, and the potato was still good, but it hadn't sprouted.
But they might not have for her.
But she's quite a bit cooler than us, so that's interesting that it worked. I don't know. We don't seem to have any luck leaving stuff with our freeze thaw. It just seems like anything is gone. It rots. The
Wickshire Project. I don't know if you want to be saying that because earlier in the live there was a discussion about pickling poop. So you may not want to eat anything pickled. The legs don't usually they want to go up, but sometimes just the way we have them, they either get so leggy that they flop over, or they, like you say, when you've got a container kind of stacked, they go out and around. That's what you're meaning. But we have taken fairly leggy plants and almost laid them down, and you do get growth
all the way along
it. It's a bit finicky because you don't want to break them off, but if they get that way, at least in our experience, it doesn't set the plant back. In fact, you might end up with more green, which then is just going to be more energy. But like I say, you couldn't scale it up. Like if you were mechanically planting, you can't do that.
My first time grabbing seeds. Yeah. Well, this is for us too. Neither of us has eaten it. Have you ever eaten it?
I've never eaten it. No.
So it'll be interesting. I see it in the store and I go, maybe we should try it. But at this point, we're already committed. So
well, I think it'll be good.
We're trusting everybody. Hey, Sean, Alaska.
How's it going? Never thought about pickled corn. Is it like?
Yeah,
is it?
I make the corn relish.
Well, but that's not pickled.
Relish. Yeah, it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think relish was pickled.
What did you
relish was
relish is pickles. Oh boy, yes, it's vinegar and.
There you go. That's what I know.
Yeah, I know. Isn't she sleeping super peacefully back behind us?
Oh, the poor cat.
That's so that when we go to bed, she'll be a holy terror.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Do we have merch? I wish. We haven't figured out how to do that sort of stuff. We're not that advanced.
In case anybody hasn't noticed, we take a while to get to the next step on things. It's like
although we're getting super close to 1,000. Not that we're counting or paying attention, but we're getting super close.
Well, we're paying attention, but
we like to. It's less of a thing if we don't,
But it's like doing the lives, for example. Some people kind of dive into it or going into other people's lives, and we were like, I don't know what it was. We were just like, oh, we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to make it work. And now we're doing them weekly. So, yeah.
We need to, I don't know how it works for doing merch for Canadians. I don't know too many Canadians that.
I think you can.
Well, Thor Haven has merch, so maybe we should ask him where he gets it done. I'd really like to make, I like our little logo, and I'd really like to get, just for myself, not necessarily to sell, I want a visor with our little logo on it. I think it'd be pretty cool for the summer.
Well, there you go.
But I have to find out how to make that happen.
Making that a reality. Yeah, I'm very, this is kind of neat. There's a bunch of us in here that are trying kohlrabi for the first time. So we'll all come back in the fall and we'll all have an opinion on what we thought of it. What we thought of how it grew and what it tasted like. Review.
That's it. Kohlrabi review.
There you go. In the fall, we'll do a live that is just going to be
about kohlrabi
review for new kohlrabi growers.
Yes. I will admit on the rutabagas, I don't like rutabagas. I like turnips, not rutabagas. I don't know, and there's very little difference, but there's just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of difference that for me, I don't care for rutabagas as much as I like turnips. But that's just personal. It's not.
Favors you're watching everything.
No, it's when they disappear that we watch it. That's like, oh, we lost one. We lost one.
They don't disappear too much.
No, they don't actually. It's not too bad.
It has its own thing going on. The one thing I will say, not to go into this discussion too much, it's really interesting to see what videos keep getting watched. Like, we have obviously like all of our amazing subscribers, right? But you've also get videos that people just search, and like the one we have is something we did like really early
the peeling cedar logs.
Peeling cedar logs, and I guess in some ways,
Boots and Bounty,
it's kind of an interesting video, but it's just funny how that one comes up.
Oh yeah, people keep
because when we did it, we're just like nobody's gonna want to watch this.
Yeah.
But we're doing it anyways. So we're going to film it. And,
and it's one that people keep finding. So
yeah, sweet but peppery flavor profile. Broccoli stem. Oh, if it's got a broccoli stem texture, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense that it does.
I'm very intrigued by it, and I'm really interested to see if it works for sauerkraut. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the Brampton Gardener for 1 second. She said Serena, and she mentioned it in her live last night, but she said it so quick. I even had my pen to try and figure out what she'd said that they used for theirs, and I could not figure out. And then I tried to Google it after, and nothing would come up under what I had wrote down. So I'm not sure who she uses, but maybe I'll ask her a thingy next time.
That's a good one, an apron. That's not a bad idea. That would have some uses. Or like
a gardening apron. I like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you do that one. We'll do visors.
See, there we go. There's at least 3 or 4 of us in here, including us, that have never grown the kohlrabi. So we're gonna have to do that. We need to remember that.
Yeah.
The kohlrabi review.
Kishar loves rutabagas and turnips. Well, I don't know.
I don't mind the rutabagas. I think for me, what is it that rutabaga crosses with? That was the bigger thing.
Hey, Bettina.
Of course, is always my big thing. What's it going to cross with, and how difficult is it going to make
to save seeds?
save seeds from? And I know rutabaga canola. That's the one it does. So if you've got canola, which we don't, but if you've got canola anywhere around, rutabaga crosses with canola because it's the same species, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Boots and Bounty also has kohlrabi for the first time, so
there you go.
It will be a fall live, all about kohlrabi and our expectations and our disappointments and our joys on
Did it live up to everybody's expectation? I have a feeling it will. But yeah, we can definitely. If we figure it out, we can definitely let you know. It may take us a while to figure it out. That's kind of where I was going before. With we're not always the quickest to figure stuff out, but once we get it figured out, then we're good to go. Just like the tractor. Once we get it figured out, we're good to go.
Oh, stop bringing up the tractor. Yeah, that's true, Wickershire. That I'm sure it's just, but it's probably one of those they get it and then they're just like, well, this isn't what I thought at all. Although it does have good watch time, so I don't know. I mean, like it's got a good.
But we basically came up with a sort of alternative way to do it, which was paint scrapers.
Yeah.
Because if they're slightly aged, well, if they're really aged, it just comes off no problem. But if they're slightly aged and they're just a little bit stubborn, the paint scraper, it almost works like a draw knife, but it's thinner. And I don't know, it works really well. It
slices in better, so.
It works really well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Turnips give her hives.
Oh, really?
Yeah, rutabagas they're similar, but they're not the same species, so they might be worth giving a try for you. Potentially.
Well, and they'll because they're definitely different plant. So, I mean, before I was a gardener, I thought they were the same thing, but they're not. I learned. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though, that you've had that many views on it. That's awesome. But yeah, sometimes it's funny, the ones that, well, it's all people driven, but it's like YouTube has its own life as to what it does, promoted and this, that, and whatever.
Well, and it's interesting, some of the ones, and then you're like, we're getting close to 300 videos. I know other people are too, but or over that even, but we go through and it's just like, how did they even find that one? Because they're awful, some of them. Well, they're not awful, but we refuse to take any down, because for us, it's all about going back and seeing what, how far you come, what you've done. And
they're just different over time.
Hey, Drops.
Hello.
Did you already say it? Maybe you already said it.
I think that's the first thing.
I think I should. I'll send her a note on Facebook or Instagram or something asking about the where they get theirs from, because I know she was talking about it last night, and I tried to get it, but I just obviously did not write it down properly.
That's exactly the ones that we love too, Crucy. And we have to admit, because you made them. You're going to get them. Stephanie made them for the first time and canned them, and they were amazing. We were just like, why haven't we done this before? But then last year she fermented them, and then we were like, why haven't we done that before? And they have a really good shelf life too. I think the ones she's getting might be the canned ones. They won't have quite. We did notice over time they lose their color in the canned form, but they're really good. Really good and pretty simple. We actually did a video on the recipe for it. It's way back somewhere from last year. Oh, are those the fermented ones?
Yes. He'll be snacking on those later.
There's what it's not looking quite as pink as they are, I don't think, on the camera, but that's them. And so those are fermented from last year, and they're pretty awesome. That's our show and tell for the night.
And they keep really well. Like I made those.
Were those in the fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were pretty good stuff. But the fermented had way better. It's like you said, you probably can't even see the color.
It looks pretty white, but it's a lot pinker than it looks.
Oh, they're still really good.
Oh, don't get me started. These are like my favorite thing.
And now you're going to be like, you should have brought a fork. Oh.
As we eat them in front of everybody.
Those are the best thing ever. Ever.
That's good to know about it bolting drops, because I think that's something we'll have to watch. We may want to plant ours in a bit of a shaded spot, because some of our garden areas get pretty hot. Well,
that's one thing we learned this year about. We're very curious to see how our Kajari melons do this year, because we didn't read the packet. We just planted them, and we did a little bit of research this year and found out that they actually like shade more than being in the full sun, which we planted them like any other watermelon or whatever. Yeah. So they did really, really, really well and grew amazing, but they would ripen so fast, and split. So we think that's because we had them in the sun. So I'm really excited to see how they do this year, not out in the sun. Mm-hmm. So we have a better spot we're going to put them this year, and that should work good. Mm-hmm. Kohlrabi review. Exactly. We're going to hashtag it. Good idea.
I just came up with a new collaboration for we should write this down.
I can't get out again. You go get me a pen.
I will get you a pen. You're in charge of
the chat. Everybody here, we are going to do that. So the moment you have a review on Kohlrabi, we're going to do it.
There's that. I'm also going to get a fork. You brought that stuff out.
Oh, and he's got to go get a fork so that he can eat more of the. They won't. That's my last jar, but they won't last very long. I think that the kohlrabi thing will be a great idea.
I think so.
Well, and there's tons of other people out there that have not tried it before, I'm sure, and or are new to growing it or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a good idea. Slice.
Oh, and do them almost like
wood burning.
Yeah, would be a neat idea.
Pyrography or whatever they call that.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, I learned something new there. Just that you said that.
Actually, you know what? He's got a good idea, because our logo with the black barn would actually work really well with the Hickory Croft Farm and the black barn. You wouldn't get the red, but you could still stamp the logo.
As long as it was a really what am I trying to say? White wood. It would work really well.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up with all sorts of ideas.
You should be able to plant kohlrabi and rutabagas together. As far as I'm like, they are brassicas, but they appreciate the same kind of soil, basically. Oh, you're gonna steal them too?
I can't have them here. This is like having yeah.
Who would have thought
bedtime snack? Eating pickled turnips.
Pickled turnips would be like eating candy.
That's the only reason we grow turnips, is to make pickled turnips, because we really don't eat them otherwise.
Well,
I would, but I would do that. I'm sorry, I'm going to the Boots and Bounty with the apron. The nice, like, heavier, not denim-y type, but like that kind of material for an actual garden apron, I think would be pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got all these ideas now. I'm not going to be able to sleep. This is my problem. Every night I lie down and I just have so much going on in my head of all the things that we need to do and all the plans, and it's all so exciting.
That's pretty. I think you mentioned that last week too, about the radish volunteers, which is pretty cool. We still have
not been able to get radishes.
No, but I think we're going to try.
But I'm interested to try. We did get the daikon radishes to grow, and I'm interested now that I know that they actually, once they're cooked up, are really nice. Mm. I would potentially do them again, because they did grow really well. They just were really spicy.
Well, raw, yeah. But, and I think we'll try growing them in the fall, because we always plant them. Well, we're too late for real spring, but we always plant them kind of normal time, and then they bolt and don't taste good. We're trying to put these away.
We're gonna eat the whole jar. That's bad. I have 100 yet. What's the 100? I missed something. I do not even have 100 yet.
Oh, 100 videos?
Oh,
maybe
that is what that is. Yeah. When we do one a day, it adds up really fast, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the subject matter. Some things do climb faster, but I think some things have staying power too.
Yeah. Opinion. Well, and it's one of those things, like we opted not to do any of the short stuff.
It says he has 125 videos. There you go.
Well, it's always good when you have more than you thought. Too bad that didn't work for money.
That never happens.
No, it never happens.
Yeah, exactly. The beet is what makes them that really nice color. And they really do take up that beet juice well.
Yeah. And definitely fresh beets work better than I did. Those were fresh beets, but I did some with the store-bought beets that I'd hung on to for a little while, and it didn't have the color punch. No. But I want to experiment with that because I want to use beets too to do some dyeing of fleece as well this year. So
we'll have some canning stuff. We do. Well, I shouldn't say we. You do a lot of canning. I help.
Yeah, I really want to do. Yeah, I want to do some. I mean, I did the ketchup already, and we've done like a lot of the weird stuff, like the dandelion jelly, purslane relish. We did the pickled turnips.
The purslane relish, I love it because I'm not a big fan of cucumber relishes, but the purslane relish, and the kids like it too. It's a little different, but it's got a different flavor.
Yeah, but I made so much of it last year. I really don't need more this year. But
I think that's like one of our. Isn't that like in the first 10 videos we ever did?
Yeah.
Something like that. Everybody's saying that. Well, I'll refrain from eating any for a little while, but they are good.
Yeah, honestly, they are the best thing since sliced bread. I'd never had them until we went for shawarmas, and I had them, and then I was like, why am I not making these? So, yeah, see, she's throwing a shawarma. Exactly. Never ever had heard about them until then.
Well, because the video you did was
it was a fermented one.
Yeah. I don't remember when that was, but we do have one.
Yeah,
it's in the kitchen playlist. That in the kitchen one has a lot of
oddities,
odd things that we've done because we kind of when we put it together, we went with more like what are some things that we either grow or how do we use those things or forage for or whatever, and we kind of put it in there. So that's
these are really good on lamb burgers too.
Yes,
lamb burgers. What was the other thing that the sauerkraut was good on lamb burgers too, but my sauerkraut was okay but not fantastic. But since then I've had Honey Badger's Homesteads give me some good tips on how to do my sauerkraut this year. So fingers crossed.
Give it another go.
Yeah,
see how we do. Yeah, it's true. Write it all down. I usually have a pretty good memory for some things, except numbers.
He thinks he does.
I do.
Who leaves the chicken pen open?
Nobody right now. Oh, I haven't done that in a while.
No, you haven't done that in a while. But
I think who were we talking to that said you could also add leaves to the kohlrabi to the coleslaw, which makes sense.
Yeah,
it's basically a cabbage.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's a smart idea. We should do little like charcuterie boards.
Now we're getting really fancy here.
with the pickled turnip, and we can do our own meats. Well, obviously you're not gonna sell, but I'm saying for us for our little home here.
It'd be kind of cool.
We need to get we would need to get our logo made into a brander, like the big cast iron brander, so that you could just brand anything you wanted.
Well, anything you wanted,
like on wood. I wouldn't brand animals and stuff, but. Okay, so he says you can do the red stain first and then go over it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's neat. Makes sense. Oh, I got great ideas now. Thank you, everyone. This is awesome.
I enjoy the chats.
It is.
A lot of good information and ideas that come up.
Oh, when kohlrabi is ready to harvest, I think it's when it's like 2 to 3 inch circle, isn't it?
About that, I think. Yeah, it's like the size of the bulb.
Yeah,
on the stem.
But from what I understand, though, can you pick the greens off throughout, or they have to wait?
I think you have to wait.
Probably have to wait. Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do because then you cut them off, and then they are edible too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think at least on the purple kohlrabi that we had on the little pouch, it says 2 to 3 inch.
We've got some onions that have come back too. It's amazing actually how well they overwintered outside. Even when some other stuff.
So we did dig them up and put them all in the same bed so that they were at least all together.
They didn't all survive. There was a few that.
I thought I dug them all up because I put them in pots in the greenhouse to overwinter because I thought at least maybe then they'd be all right. Yeah, well, see, I've only tried it raw. I didn't realize that they tasted different cooked. We did a whole bed of them last year, and then we tried one, and I'm like, yeah, that's rabbit food. Even the rabbits wouldn't eat it. It was so.
Well, they were spicy, but it was
Yeah.
hot and dry. But I forgot about eating the seed pods off of radishes. Thank you for reminding me about that, because I have heard that they're very good. So that's another thing. We just have to find one kind of radish.
Well, yeah. We just got to keep trying.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
But our experiment this year is watermelon, hopefully.
Wow. Hello, Free Handley Maid.
Yes, hi.
Sorry, we're behind
as always. Oh, and hi, Simply Jam too. Sorry, everybody's coming in. Relishes, jams. Yeah. Well, and you just got to have the right punch title, I think.
Well, it's like we say that you did a pickle recipe too. You did the.
We've got a few of those videos I just did a refrigerator pickle recipe that my grandmother had given me that we love. I shared that one, but.
Oh, hello, Tina Ladybug. Boy,
yes, hi.
We're way behind. As
all
per
right.
usual. You just catching up.
Purslane relish. Does it matter if they bloom? It's fine, because what I did was I actually removed the seeds when I used it.
Yeah.
So, because when they bloom right at the kind of V there, you get a whole bunch of bubbly seeds. I made one batch where I didn't worry about removing that, and it was not as crunchy. I didn't like it.
It's okay.
So then I removed the seeds on the next ones, and it was really good. And I dumped all the seeds into a new pot to all grow in the same spot this year.
So we should have a lot of them come back up.
Yeah, but that would be my suggestion. Just make sure that you take the seeds off, or break those little, I don't know what they're called. It's a pod, I guess.
Yeah, seed pod.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that you've got some beets that are going to go to seed. That was supposed to be our experiment. Our Swiss chard was supposed to go, but it didn't make it through the winter. So we now know we have to protect it here where we are. We have to protect it a little bit better if we're gonna do it. Hopefully the video's working again now. We didn't notice anything, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So I think.
Hi, Artist in the Garden. Thanks for popping in. Another fellow Ontarian.
Oh, they're saying. I have to see. I should go to the end and see if it came back or not. Must have. But.
Feed is dead.
Oh, they said they got us back.
Oh, are we back now?
Okay, we're here. Sorry, we're that far behind. Something happened. We didn't even know it happened.
We did have a thing on, because I saw somebody there had said about the StreamYard thing. We did have a thing come through last week saying that we were close, but it rolled over on the day after our live. So that was good, because we were a bit worried last week that it was going right, like it sent a notice during our live.
They said they keep losing us. Okay, I'm going to go to the end and just see what.
Oh, maybe
fine for me. Well, sorry if we might, if it's not working well, maybe we'll end here.
Video has been fine there.
Well, I've scrolled ahead. Let me know if it's not working, because we just sort of noticed that it wasn't working. So we apologize for that. But I'm not sure.
See, mine on the other screen here never cut out. But I'm shutting it down just in case it was for some reason draining our thingy.
It says we have internet.
Glad you enjoyed the greenhouse build, though.
Yeah, it's usable now, at least.
It's been
not done.
We're so glad that we have it.
That does make sense that the.
See if that's
the radish leaves. Yeah, the chickens. Well, the rabbits do eat them too. When they get really big, it.
Yeah, Kirsty's still got it. So
okay, so as long as it's working, it's not working. I hear you talking about it not working. Okay, well,
So is it maybe our thing? Video has. What does it say? Sorry.
Where am I?
It's working the stream. Okay, we'll just stay at the bottom and just ask everybody if someone wants to say if they see us. Because if not, then we will end. Just because I'm not sure if restarting it is going to help that.
Mm-hmm.
I see a couple are saying it's working fine. We'll see. We're still here though. Now we're going to confuse them because we're going all silent.
Uh-oh.
But hopefully you're getting the video and the sound and not just one or the other.
Technical difficulties, but it's not, it's telling us we've got internet and stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah. See,
Okay,
Brampton Gardner sees us, so
okay.
It's
So
still there.
Something just happened then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris sees us.
We're fine. Temporary moment.
Yeah.
Now we can go back up and go through the thing he said. If people can still see us, it's fine. If it was one of those weird things, we would just log out there. But cutting boards made to sell unlike wood, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Pods taste just like the radish.
That's cool.
Oh, Boots and Batty does all her green leaves canned.
That's cool.
Very interesting.
We'll have to.
We will have to watch your video
we'll
on
have
it.
to go and find that one.
Where's that?
Because that's something we wanted to do was use some of the broccoli and all that sort of thing in that way.
Well, and because the kale leaves too, even for preserving some of them, would be nice to be able to can some. Oh boy. Now he wants me. Have a good night, Chris. Thanks so much for coming in. Good to see you.
Yes, thank you. That is funny, Chrissy. We're in your living room.
Yes. We're taking over your computer, although something seems to have taken over ours there for a second.
Well, it happens. It's technology, right?
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Too many people came in at once, maybe. We had a couple people come in and then it just went all crazy.
I'm too choppy to watch now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we might end it because if it's causing problems, I'm not sure what it is. We'll check and see if it's a StreamYard thing, but I think it rolled over already.
Oh yeah.
So, but we apologize for that. But I think we'll talk to everybody
next
week, and hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties here.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for coming in. And we're sorry that the ending here is kind of abrupt with it being all weird. I'm not sure exactly what that's being caused by, but we will see everybody next week. And we look forward to kind of catching up on a couple of videos throughout the week and see what everybody else is doing. But thank you to Artists in the Garden and Brampton Gardner as well. New people coming in. And it's great to see you guys in here and get a chance to chit chat and get to know people.
Yes. We'll chat to everybody later.
Yes.
Hopefully everybody has a great night.
Yeah. Night, everyone.
Oh, good night, honey badgers.
Hello and good night. Well, yeah, we weren't seeing any choppiness on our other one either. But anyways, that's all right. It's been a good chat and it's getting close to bedtime anyways. So we will wrap it up.
Morning's going to come soon.
Yeah. And we will be back next week. Bye.